your days. In this video, in this live video, I am going to share with you how you can theme your days, give your days an overarching focus, so that way you have a place for your mind to go in terms of directing your to-do list and getting the right things done every single day. This is one of the key elements of theming your time, which is part of the time crafting methodology. And I wanted to share this with you today. So what I've got is you're going to want to have some tools with you. If you don't have them already, what you're going to want to have is maybe a couple different pens. You're going to want to have a sheet of paper. I actually have this sheet of paper right here. And what it is, and I'm getting, this is something I made, but you could just put the days of the week, Sunday through Saturday or Monday through Sunday on it, just because what we're going to do is we're going to use this to write down the things we know to be true every single week. And if you've got questions or comments, I want to hear them in the chat for sure. So please make sure that you put them in there. I'm going to move my keyboard out of the way for a second. And the other thing is you're going to want is either some Post-it notes, or in my case, I've got some chalkboard things here that I can share my themes with you. So I'm going to set things up a little bit here, and you're going to want to give yourself some room to do the kind of things that you need to do. So I'm going to lay out all of my daily chalkboard coasters, I guess, at this point, in front of, either going to be completely in front of me or they're going to be off to the side. And now we're going to get started. So why theme your days? Well, what theming your days does is it gives you, hello, Patrick, it gives you an overarching focus for your days. Now, there's other different types of themings that you can do as well. There's horizontal theming, which does it for hours of the day, which might be something you want to explore as well. I'm going to do a video on that a little bit later as part of the time theming series. This is just going to be a live version of it. We'll probably do something a little bit more structured and a little bit more polished for those particular videos. The other kind of theming you can do is monthly theming, which is to give your month an overarching focus. Nancy, I got those little chalkboards at Michael's. So Michael's they're coasters, and yeah, you just get them at Michael's, and I've already seasoned them and everything, so they're good to go. Let's see, what else? I have, hey, Steve, great to see you. The other thing so what theming does is basically, if you're looking at horizontal theming, for example, it's for certain times of the day. So for me, I do have some horizontal theming set up, and it's going to be especially helpful when all the days kind of blend together, or if you don't feel that you can theme a day, if your days are so dynamic and you want some static elements in it, or better still, you're like, you know what, I have some daily themes, but I need some horizontal ones like I do. I have making mode that happens from 9:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m., thereabouts, every single weekday, so that I can focus on making stuff while my kids are in bed, because as of right now, the kids are at home. So what daily theming does is, again, it gives you that overarching focus, but the question is, how do you know what to focus on? Like, how do you decide what your daily themes need to be? And in this 30-minute live video, you're going to see how that happens. So first off, whenever you are theming anything, your days, your weeks, your months, however, your horizontal themes, we're going to focus on days, is you need to work backwards from your certainties. And so what I mean by that is you need to know what is absolutely true every single day, or during the days that you're wanting to theme, so that way you can decide what should fit into those days in terms of themes. The other thing you're going to need to know are the things that you need to do regularly. So not necessarily things that you need to do every day, but maybe things you need to do once or twice a week, because you don't need to necessarily theme 7 completely separate days for your daily themes. You don't even need to theme every single day of the week, but you could have 2 days that are one type of theme, 2 days that are another type. And all this is designed to do is to give you an overarching focus on the type of work that you're supposed to do during the day. All right, so here's where this sheet of paper comes in. So to do this little exercise as to how to work backwards from your certainties, what you want to do, and you can see here I've got like the little thing at the top. I'm not worried about this so much. I'm just going to use the actual list area. All I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the things that I know to be true. And I'll do this with you as we're going to do this together. So if you have the ability to do this right now, I highly encourage you to do it. We're going to kind of do this as a live workshop sort of thing. So I know that from every day of the week, everyone is home. So everyone is home is something that I know. And this is in the current climate right now. So everyone is home all 7 days of the week. And that's all I did is I just wrote down everyone is home. Okay. The other thing I wrote down is that I know that, but normally kids off for sure on Saturdays, and the kids are off for sure on Sundays normally from school. And then normally my wife is home on Mondays, so Ann home. So I'm gonna put all this in here too. My wife is home on Mondays and normally on Thursdays, which means that Ann is at work on those other days. So I could put that down here as well. So that's what you're just going with the things that you know to consistently be true every single day of the week, or whatever day, that's going to help you decide. So you can see, like, there it is. So I can see that. I also know that Mondays can have holidays from time to time, right? You know that Mondays can sometimes have some holidays, as can Fridays. So a holiday could fall on that day. I'm going to put a question mark next to it because it's not always that way. Okay? Those are things I definitely know to be true. Okay? I also know that on Sunday for me, it's Monday in Australia. So that's helpful to know, just because that might help me make some decisions. And it's just not Australia, but I should just put Southern Hemisphere. Right? So this is just something I know to be true. So again, I'm just listing all these things, and that's all you need to do. Then the other thing you need to list are the things that are regular parts of the things that you want to do in terms of your work, your life, whatever. And you want to try to make these as universal as possible. So, for example, I know, and I'm going to put this in a different color on a sheet of paper, I know that I need to do admin work. And I'm just putting these, actually, I'm going to flip this sheet over, and I'll put it on the back of the sheet. So I'm going to take this off, just so that it doesn't muddy the waters for you. Just take that off. So I know the types of work I need to do are like admin. I have to do podcasting. I have to do YouTube, writing. I have to do, I want to get some kind of, and this is also stuff you want to do too. So deep work is another one. I have to do some kind of optimization. I like to get things better, or betterment. I need to do some reading, every week. I need to want to obviously spend some time with my family every week, if not more than that. I want to do some planning. So all I'm doing is I'm just listing all the different types of things that I need to do on a regular basis. Okay? Then you start to put together 2 and 2 together. So you start to say, okay, well, I know that when I'm looking at this list, that on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, normally my kids would be at school, and also my wife would be at work. So I can take these 2 chalkboard sheets, and I know that either Tuesday or Wednesday would be good days to do kind of video or audio work. So I'm going to set these off to the side, and then all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put on this sheet of paper for now. I'm just going to put audio and video just on the sheet to kind of give me some sense of what it could be. So audio and video. So now I'm just seeing this like this. Okay, those tasks could be things I do on this day. Now, I also know that on Thursday, my wife is home, and on Friday, my wife's at work. So what kind of things? So I could do, that could be a good day for deep work, except sometimes, so Friday could be a good day for deep work, right? Except for the fact the kids could be home sometime. So not a good idea. So I'm going to put like an X next to that. But is Monday a good day for deep work? Probably not. People want to get in touch with me, so that'd be a no. Saturday and Sundays aren't a good day for deep work, so guess what? The best day of the week for me to do deep work where I won't get interrupted is on Thursday. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write on here. So there, I've made this decision. Thursday is my deep work day. Done. One day themed. Now, what that means is if I want to do deep work, I don't want to be interrupted or disrupted throughout that whole time period. So therefore, I'm going to make it using my calendar. Like I use Woven for my calendar stuff, but it doesn't matter which one you're using. You could even just use this on your regular calendar. Is you can say, I don't want to have any meetings on those days if you have that capability. Okay. So right now I want to go with something that's going to make it easier. So I'm going to say, well, let's look at the days that I know, which are Tuesday and Wednesday, are either going to be audio and video. Now, audio and video are pretty narrow. And when you're picking your themes, you want to be able to do things that are broad enough that you're going to be able to fill the day up with enough focus tasks. So I don't do a lot of video right now. And if I do, I'd like to be actually more consistent with it, doing it every single day. But I don't think that video is going to fill up an entire day worth of tasks for a number of reasons. Number one, it could if I was a YouTuber full on. In fact, it'd probably take up more. But also, I would run out of energy. So I don't think that that's going to be a wise choice for me. So I'm not going to use the term video. I'm not going to use the term audio either. Instead, I'm going to go a bit broader because remember I said I want to make this a bit more universal, a bit more harmony. Deep work, I can do both personally and professionally, right? I can do both of those. Well, I did some thinking and I thought, well, audio, what do you do with audio? Well, you listen. Oh, well, why don't we change that? So from audio, instead of audio, it's listening. So I just changed that to listen, right? Or listening. It's my listening day, right? So I'll just do the same thing here. And then video, well, what do you do for video? Now you could say watching or viewing, but I love alliteration. So I went with looking. So now instead of me saying, okay, I only make videos on Tuesdays or Wednesdays or whatever day I choose, I can say, well, my overarching focus on Tuesday or Wednesday is to look at things. It's to do some looking, to do some, which then research could fall into that. Review can fall, reading can fall into that. Listening, well, getting on the phone and calling people can fall into that. Listening to audiobooks can fall into that. So all of a sudden I'm creating a much bigger bucket for these things to go in. But that still doesn't answer the question for you. Well, Mike, what day are you going to do your looking and what day are you going to do your listening? That's when I look at my content schedule and kind of figure out what makes the most sense. Well, the thing I know to be true, the thing that's certain and has been for the 4 million downloads plus that the podcast has had, if you go to if you go to productivityist.transistor.fm, you can subscribe yourself. My podcast has come out on a Wednesday. Now I'm going to bi-weekly now too, which is great because it's going to fill up a bit more space. But if the podcast is going live on Wednesday, then maybe Wednesday should be my listening day. And that's what it used to be. Forthright. It used to be Wednesday was that day because it made sense. Wednesday is my listening day, therefore the podcast goes out on Wednesday, therefore Wednesday should be on my listening day. But then what was happening was I wasn't getting far enough ahead. I was doing the podcast for that week on Wednesday. I was getting a little lazy, a little comfortable. So I decided this isn't going to work. So I decided that my listening day is actually going to be on Tuesday. On Tuesday. And there goes the chalk. On Tuesday. So, and it makes a lot of sense for me to do this because then even if I am a bit behind, and again, it's always kind of working backwards from your certainties, even if I am a bit behind, I know that I will still get tomorrow's podcast episode up. So if Tuesday's listening, then, well, Wednesday is looking, okay? Now, again, why did I choose these days? Well, normally the kids aren't home. Normally no one's home, so I can do audio and video work whenever I want. Man, I'm doing that opposite a couple times. So there you go. So now I have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday already locked in. Those are my daily themes. Now I could stop there. That could be it. But I decided I want to do all of my themes. So I look at the other certainties that I have. And the easiest ones to look at right now are Saturday and Sunday. Why? Because everyone is home on Saturday and Sunday almost all the time. Okay? I work from home. My kids get home at 3 o'clock. So you could argue that if I gave both of my focuses to family on Saturday and Sunday, then that would be fine. And I did that up until this week. Family day was Saturday and Sunday. But everyone's home now, number one. Number two, when the clock strikes 3 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays when my wife's at work, I shut down for the early part of my day and I'm hanging with my son for the most part. So I get that family time happening during the later part of the days. And if I actually did the math, it actually equates to almost a full active day, Tuesday and Wednesday in the afternoons. And same thing with, Fridays, more so Fridays and not as much on Fridays. But if the kids have Monday or Friday off, then that's something to consider too. So I used to say that Saturday was family day and Sunday was family day. But in light of what's going on in current situation where I'm finding that I'm falling a little bit behind with my work, because everybody's home. And I probably need to do some more triage type work later in the week. I've decided to go back to what I used to do. Now, I said that planning was one of the things I needed to do, and family was one. So here's what I came to the conclusion of. Family is obviously very important to me. And when I say family, when I theme something with family, that includes tasks for the family, like household tasks, things like that. So I have made Saturday my family or planning day. So family first, planning second. Conversely, Sunday is the opposite. So it's planning or family. So there it is right there. Okay. Now, what does this mean? Well, let's take a look at this really quickly. So, Saturday, family or planning. Sunday, planning or family. This was decided upon when my wife and I were driving to the airport many months ago when I used to do this. And then I shifted to just making things family for a good deal of time. She said, is there any way that we were talking about theming? I was going to do a talk. I was going to deliver a talk to someone. She said, is there any way that you could swap Saturday and Sunday from time to time? Because Sunday used to be straight up planning, and Saturday was straight up family. And I said, yeah, I could do that. Why? Why do we need to do that? And she said, well, what if the weather's nice on Sunday but not on Saturday? Would you be willing to swap those? And there was no hesitation, because when I look at my to-do list, I don't look at the days of the week. I look at the themes of the days. So instead of me going, what am I going to do Saturday? I say, what am I going to do on my family day? Because Saturday is my family day. Oh, what am I going to do Sunday? No. Sunday, what day is it? It's Sunday. Sunday is my planning day. What planning am I going to do today? All I needed to do was create the language of, okay, what day is it? It's Saturday. Okay. It's either family or planning day. What's the weather like? The weather is good. Okay, it's family day. Oh, the weather is not good. It's planning day. Now, if the weekend was both days were going to be nice, that's why we have these here. Planning always, like this is the order we normally do them in. So now I have these themes decided upon. So I've got Tuesday, Wednesday. Tuesday's listening. Wednesday is looking. Thursday's deep work. Saturday's family or planning. Sunday is planning or family. We're down to two more. We're down to Monday. And we're down to Friday. Now, I could stop here, by the way. I could make Monday and Friday themeless and just do other stuff. But here's the thing, is I want to make things better. And I used to have a thing called optimization. Now, Mondays, I also know to be true that most people are communicating with each other. They're not really wanting to work with me all that much. And if they are, that's fine. I also, by the way, don't take appointments for coaching on Tuesdays or Wednesdays because those are my listening and looking days. Actually, that's not entirely true now. Tuesdays, because it's my listening day, I will actually do coaching calls because I'm listening to them. But Mondays are generally like a slower day because everyone's trying to catch up with their stuff. They're trying to get things in order. They're trying to optimize their week. And that's what I went with for a while. But then the problem with optimization was that it wasn't exactly a word that resonated with me all that much. Because I felt that if I just didn't think optimization was something I needed to do every single week, but I do. So I looked up, I'm a bit of a word nerd, and looked up some words that could relate to optimization. And I found this one. Leveling. So leveling isn't just about leveling up or taking things to the next level. It's also about leveling. I'm going to level this building. I'm going to level this project. So it's about destroying what doesn't work anymore or eliminating it or getting rid of it and then building up and making better what you do want to. So that's why I went with leveling, because I like that idea. And also my other days are listening and looking. So the first 3 days of the week, if I start my week on Monday, would be leveling, then listening, then looking. Then I have deep work. Then I have family/planning on Saturday and planning/family on Sunday. I have one day left to theme, Friday. This is the most recent change because Friday used to be planning and now Sunday is planning. Here's the reason for the most recent change. Again, things are hectic. Things are busy. I'm getting more emails than usual. I'm flying solo on my own now for the most part in terms of help. My wife does a lot of the stuff for the business. I've got some video editing contractors that help me out. I've got a small but nimble team, but I'm trying to do more of this stuff. And I use tools like Front, which I've done a video about, that helps me manage the email. I use LumaFusion for video editing. I'm using a bunch of different tools to help me manage this stuff so I can run a small but nimble ship. But come Friday, I just want to close things up and make sure I can go into Saturday or Sunday and have that family and clear planning time. And as odd as this sounds, I started to think of, and I've talked to clients about this before, but this idea of triage. All triage is, and I'm being reductive here, but triage is you put something, you want to get things to where it needs to be so it can be treated properly. You're basically, it's a form of optimization, but it's an urgent level of it, right? Things need to be taken care of or they will fall through the cracks. So Friday is a good day for that because I think everybody's trying to do that to some degree. They're trying to close the week strong. They're trying to make it so that it works for the next week so they can go into the next week strong. And so there you go. Triage. So those are my themes. I have 7 daily themes. Leveling, listening, looking, deep work. Here we go. Triage, family or planning, planning or family. And this, by the way, is usually my first day of the week. Now, how do I know, pardon me, what to do when? All of those themes are tags inside of Todoist, Time Hero, Asana, whatever I'm using, whatever you're going to use, they are tags or labels. And then I create favorites in Asana or filters maybe in Todoist, or basically a way to have those stand out. And in Todoist is a great example. I named them Sunday focus, Monday focus, Tuesday, you call it Sunday theme, Monday theme, it doesn't matter. And then when I start my day, I don't go, okay, let me look at today. Let me look at the next 7 days. I say, oh, it's Sunday. What's my Sunday focus? And it's all the stuff that's tagged with either planning or family. Monday, leveling. Monday focus. Let me take a look at that. It's all about creating simple pathways, and this allows me to do that. Now, this only really works if you're theming days and you're actually using the tagging with it. So if you're using a tool like Todoist, you may want to have a filter at the bottom that says no label. So any tasks that haven't been labeled, you will add those labels to it. And remember, a lot of these, if you followed my work before, if we go backwards from here, mode-based work. Sunday planning. Planning is an activity. Family is a resource. Again, same principles here. Triage, that's an activity. So that's an activity-based mode as well as a theme-based one. Deep work, that's energy-based, right? That's an energy-based one. Looking, activity. Look, all these are going to be activities. Ing, and ing, all activities. So now I've got a multitude of ways to look through these. So if you're trying to figure out what you should choose for your themes, whether it's daily or horizontal, look no further than the modes that you might already be using if you're practicing TimeCrafting already, because that's going to put you in the position to do that. So there you go. That is how you theme your days. Let me stress again. I did not sit back and theme 7 days of the week right out of the gate. You can see I just evolved mine recently. Frankly, adding triage to the mix meant I had to create an entirely new tag called triage. And then I had to go through my tasks and audit and see which things I did need to triage. And most of those things were flagged as urgent. So that kind of gave me a sense of what those were. Okay? You do not need to theme 7 days a week. Start with one. Start with household. Start with admin. Start with something that you can easily gravitate towards. And again, try to make it so that it works both for home and work. All of these don't just work for work. I can level myself up or get rid of things personally. I can listen to personal stuff. I can look at personal stuff. There's deep work personally. There's a lot of personal triage going on right now. And there's obviously family is personal, but also family can be my community here on YouTube, my time crafting trust community. So it's about just being thoughtful. I wrote a post on Medium recently about the 20 seconds that it takes to wash your hands and things like that. When you're doing the 20 seconds, yes, you could sing the Moana song. I think that's pretty cool what The Rock did. You could sing, I say the Green Lantern oath twice. If I say it twice, it's 20 seconds. Or you could take 20 seconds and think, what are the things I do a lot? And then when you're done, write down like those activities. That's a great place to start. Having that list of these are the things I need to do regularly. And then establishing some themes around it. So there you go. I wanted to just have this for you. If you have any questions or comments, I'll leave them in the comments below. Thanks to everybody who tuned in live to watch this. I hope if you're watching live and you got a lot out of it, say, yep, this is awesome. I got a couple thumbs up. I really, and again, I think that the key is slow and steady wins the race here. You do not have to do it all at once. In fact, I would caution against it. Instead, just do this bit by bit, day by day, and make it happen. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, and this works in times of uncertainty. Having something that you can gravitate towards that's certain is really helpful. Super helpful. And I hope this was helpful to you. So thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Take care. Be safe. I'll see you later.